Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Better, a show about two longtime friends trying their best, growing up, and hopefully getting better. I'm Zach Johnson.
And welcome to Squid Game, the competitive reality show about making sushi. At least that's what I believe the show was about. I have done no research. I believe it's a bunch of sushi chefs who cut up calamari and make it into delicious squid. It seems wholesome and great. I think there's something about crackers in there. Not really sure, but...
Okay, that's actually really exciting. I've seen the meme of like a guy holding back another person and people put text over both of them like the weekend, and then it's like my boss telling me to come in or something like that.
That's funny because I've seen Squid Game. I've seen like all of it, and I don't know what you're talking about. I actually don't know what that meme is. There's a meme where it's a guy, like someone's trying to like run away, but he's on like all fours, and another person is holding him. So it's like, this is holding me back for what I really want to do. I have not seen Squid Game, but I imagine that that's like someone going for like the buffet, and then someone's like, You're misunderstanding the meme because you haven't seen Squid Game.
Oh, damn.
So
well, I thought I understood it, but as it turns out,
you don't. So that's Ali, and then our main character, whose name I actually don't remember. He has a name, I just do not remember what it is. So in that situation, I want to explain the context around it, except for that our character is falling, and Ali is holding him up. So what I'm seeing, and then maybe you're seeing people who also don't understand the meme, but the one I'm seeing, it says Twitter, Ali is Twitter, and he's holding up the main character, and it says everyone. So the joke being like, oh, when all the apps crashed, Twitter was saving everybody.
Okay.
So I guess memes can be whatever. But yeah, in the context of the show, the person holding the other person up is holding them up. They're not holding them back.
Oh, wow. That really is the so if I misunderstand the meme, then that is like the newest footprints on the sand poem. Sure. It's like,
or like dude with arrows in his back. Yeah.
Or it's like, wow, like why were you holding me back all those years? And it's like, I wasn't holding you back. I was holding you up. It's like, wow.
I actually heard that poem or whatever in full the other day, and I like couldn't believe, because I always knew that like when there was one set of footprints, that was me following you. That was me following you in perfect synchronicity. No, that was me carrying you.
Yeah.
And I heard the like full context of like what that was, and like, goofers, that is some church camp shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew it was. I just didn't know like what. I didn't know what the context of. I knew the joke of like that was me carrying you, but I didn't know like why. I didn't understand it, and then I heard the full thing.
Yeah, no, it was because I grew up in, I guess, like just an extremely Christian home. It was a magnet, so I've never heard it read. I've only seen it as a magnet.
Oh, a magnet. Oh,
yeah.
That's really, but it's like a whole thing. It's like I was walking, and
it's a big magnet.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, because then it's like, well, when I had my hardest times, I looked back and there was only one set of footprints. Why'd you leave me? And it's like,
yeah.
Which I don't want to get into because I don't fully remember it, but I'm like, wait, but wouldn't you have known you were being carried? I mean, like in the context of the story, like I understand in the metaphor where it's God, but like I don't understand in the context of the story how you didn't know that you were being carried.
Maybe they were carrying him, like God was carrying him, kind of like he was behind him, kind of carrying him up, and the person was still kicking their feet out, like thinking that they were walking. And because they couldn't directly see him to the right or the left, they were just like, oh, must have left me.
Yeah.
So
when I looked back, you were holding me back, and he's like, no, I was
holding you
from falling. I was holding you up. Welcome to Squid Game.
That's actually really beautiful. I'm glad that's such a positive show.
That's what the show's about. The show is about how religion is good. No, I will not tell you a lot about it because it is one of those shows that's really fun to go in kind of cold.
Okay.
we went in completely cold, other than knowing like I don't know, it's weird. We've seen the pink and green hallway, and it looks like spooky.
I've seen the picture of the girl with presumably blood and / or depending on how the Squid Game goes, tartar sauce on her face, and she's like screaming. Seen that one?
No idea what you're talking about.
I guess I've seen Squid Game. I don't know what you've seen, but I've seen Squid Game through.
I've seen Squid Game. She has tartar sauce on her face?
I'm saying because she's about to eat some squids.
I see. I understand. You're talking about the competitive reality show where the sushi chefs compete. I see.
Yeah.
I was like, there's not a scene with tartar sauce in that. Gotcha.
Quick zibba-zabba aside. Really
sure,
big
that's
fan
the whole show.
Really big fan of going to the gym in the middle of the day, and I'll tell you what.
Yeah, you had an experience. You had a great fun time.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I'll talk about that in just a second. I love going and then seeing like, I don't know what they have done, but HGTV and the Food Network are constantly on all the time, always, and they have such a wealth of the exact same show but with different hosts. It blows my mind. Like I have seen like the what I can assume is the exact same shtick just over and over and over again of like, you guys are gonna competitively cook, but this time you're cooking with, and then it's like they take open like a thing and it's like a bunch of gummy worms.
Yeah.
And then everyone is like, oh, what the fuck? And then they have to cook with that.
Like Chopped.
But it's
like a Chopped style show.
Exactly. It's that. It's the Chopped formula. It's the Chopped recipe, as it were. But just thrown into so many different categories that it is like, you can't parody it. Like if there are no Food Network or HDTV parodies, like it can't be done. They're already doing it. They're already parodying themselves.
I'm confused. No, what you're saying there's one kind of show on HGTV and there's one kind of show on Food Network.
Yes.
You're not saying that these are the same show on both.
No, it's not the same show, but it is.
That's where I was confused.
It is Chopped for Food Network and Property Brothers for HGTV.
Sure, totally.
And then it's just that thing repeat to infinity, and then that's their entire network, and it's awesome because I think they play it a lot at the gym because you do not need any dialogue to know exactly what is going on. Like it's like that guy's really stressed out. I think this might be his first time doing this.
I don't think
the guy was really nervous about seeing those vanilla wafers for his steak recipe. I really don't think that he's going to handle this one well.
We actually just watched our first season of Hell's Kitchen, season 20, and it was really, really, really good. I'm a big fan of Hell's Kitchen. So because we are
is this a reality check?
In fact, it's so much of a reality check. It's actually going to be a reality check symposium. You don't know this, but I'm setting something up right now. So because we are a semi-visual medium now, let me share. This is on the Twitch stream, but I will share it for you, Zach, on the robot.
Ooh.
And I will do. And podcast listeners, we have not forgotten you. We will never forget you. Columbus, Ohio, Ireland. Actually, I just assume it tells me that you're in Columbus. I just know we have a bunch of fans in Ohio. You know, the CIA, our California fans. We're here for you, and we love you. But
it's just me on a VPN on just several different. Just going to Ohio and a bunch of just. I go to a library and just VPN to Ohio.
Don't you ever insult our Ohio fans like that? They're wonderful and precious, and I love them. I mean you guys are fine. Or you're terrible. I've never met you, but yeah, I like to listen to our show. Anyway, so here is I told you months ago that I did a PowerPoint presentation.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot to take in.
Let me try and explain this.
Well, hold on. Let me just give a little bit of preface. I did I did a PowerPoint party with my friends where we all made PowerPoint presentations and drank and yelled, and it was fun.
This is pretty good.
And my subject that I picked was the reality television spectrum. So I would like to give you the
Okay.
symposium, but that's the only context. Zach, could you explain to the podcast audience what they're looking at?
So I'm assuming if you're listening to this show, you are you're at least tertiarily aware of like the political spectrum sort of test. But for those
Political
who are
compass.
not, political compass, that's right. So we have an x-axis and a y-axis that have met to make a big cross, and it's kind of like there are 4 quadrants, 4 squares, and it's just designed of like the closer you are to this, the more you're like this, the closer you are to this, the more you're like this, and the quadrants are designed like starting at the top and then going clockwise. Actually, I'll just kind of go. I'll go based on the way that it is how it's written, I guess. Never mind. This makes no sense.
It's an X and Y axis. It's an X and Y axis with 4 quadrants.
X and Y axis making 4
They've all been in
quadrants,
high
and
school.
so you are seeing at the top you have respecting the game, and at the bottom you have here for the wrong reasons, and
That's the
on the
Y axis.
Yes, and on the X-axis, you have evil, which is represented by Chris Harrison, I'm just assuming. And
Yes,
then on the left side, you have Jeff Tweedy? Popes, oh my gosh, who is good. And so you are either like, if you are in the first quadrant, you are both respecting the game and you are good. And if you are in this other, like, so you have like respecting the game, but you're evil. And we have over here. And then there's the evil and here for the wrong reasons. And there's the good, but here for the wrong reasons.
I can walk you through kind of, there's these dedicated sections and specifically what the X and Y axis mean. So I have other slides, but I think it will be too complicated for me to put here on Twitch. So I'll just explain them. So the X-axis, yes, as you said, is the good to evil spectrum. I.e. Jeff Probst to Chris Harrison. That is not... this was made before he got in trouble, so it's not actually referring to Chris as a person, but more this is this a show that is for your good, or is this a show that derives its entertainment from ruining your life?
Before Chris Harrison got canceled, it was fun to imagine him as a demon succubus sort of situation that was deriving joy from just the amount of uncomfortable that someone could be put in. And I think the gold standard of that is on an episode of The Bachelor where him and the producers put together a situation where the Bachelor and one of the contestants ended up going to one of a show put on by her ex-boyfriend, just for no reason other than just to be awful.
Yeah, so The Bachelor famously is trying to ruin your life, whereas something like Survivor, and the comparison that I made is that, of course, Survivor is a show that takes away all of the worldly pleasures to, like a crucible, make you a better person. That is the goal of the show, is to improve you as a person. And The Bachelor gives you all the worldly pleasures and destroys you in the process. It is a show. Now, that doesn't mean it's not fun to watch, but just understanding that the show derives its value and derives its sort of entertainment value from destroying the contestants' lives. Now, the top, and again, I have other slides that the shows that exemplify this the best. So, of course, it's Survivor and Bachelor for this. The top and the bottom are respecting the game and here for the wrong reasons. So respecting the game is one where elimination is decided basically by the rules. So the more adherent to the rules, the more... Oh. So the example for this one would be Alone. Alone is a survival game show where they give you camera equipment and you pick 10 items and they drop you off in the woods, and there's all these, I think it's like 12 contestants, and they're separate and they're not allowed to interact, and you just survive as long as you can, and you survive until you tap out. Or they do these med checks, and if you've lost like too much weight and like you might die, they tap you out. But generally the show is just like stay alive, and so it's just the rules. It is purely rules. Whereas Here for the Wrong Reasons would be a show where getting kicked off is more arbitrary, and sometimes it's just kind of producer focused. So you have like villain edits where someone who's terrible on The Bachelor will stay for a really long time just because, I don't know, the producers want them there. It's not really about the rules of the game. It's just kind of like what the producers want. You had a question?
Mm-hmm. No, I was thinking. So I'm just noticing quite a number of these, but I don't want to get in the way of you explaining. I think I just have a couple of clarifying questions. Where underneath this show might kill you. So we have the kind of making it there, Survivor Alone and Naked and Afraid. But just beneath the show might kill you, we have something called PTD. What is that?
Yes, PTD is the Pottery Throwdown, which is a Great British Bake Off. Now, that's okay. So what he's describing is the top fifth of the chart. Well, I'll get to that in a second. It
is the closest to it could kill you, other than
I know.
Forged in Fire.
I know, but it's not a ratio of how much it might kill you. It's a ratio of how much are they adherent to the rules. But I'll get to the sections in a second. So the example that I love for Here for the Wrong Reasons is The Apprentice by our big wet boy, former President Trump. So the reason you would think Here for the Wrong Reasons, that's like a Bachelor thing. So like obviously it's going to be Bachelor. But a great story about The Apprentice. So they film for like a week, and that's like a week per elimination. That's most shows, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they will film like dailies and then start cutting the show throughout the day. So if someone's doing particularly bad, or someone's being bad, or the producers are kind of trying to push it in a certain way, they'll start editing the show as they're going along because they kind of know, they have an idea of how the episode might go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing with The Apprentice, and you'll also notice for the podcast listeners, it is directly in the middle between good and evil, which if you're not a fan of our big wet boy, you might have some questions about, but I will explain why it is true neutral.
There are a couple there are three that are true neutral, which I'm hoping to see the thread between them as you continue.
Yeah. So the reason it is true neutral is the same reason why it is the example for Here for the Wrong Reasons, which is that they would have to recut the show the last day. Like they would have to completely start over because what the person Trump would pick to eliminate was completely arbitrary and had nothing to do with any of the challenges. Like no one knew going in who was going to be eliminated. Like literally no one, because it had nothing to do with who did good, who did bad, and so they would have to go back and recut all of the footage to make it make sense.
Oh my gosh.
So it is the purest example of Here for the Wrong Reasons because it is completely arbitrary. Like there's no sense as to, it has nothing to do with the rules. There is no reason why anyone gets eliminated. It's just, I don't know, they got eliminated.
Yeah.
And because of that, because he has mashed potato brains, I can't actually set, and because he seemed to have full control over the show because he just like did whatever, I can't actually say it is either evil or good because it's like there was no choice behind it. There was no thought behind it. It was simply id. It is pure id. It was pure urges. That like there was no morality involved with how the show worked. It was just like, I don't know, Trump's gonna eliminate Gary Busey because he thought he remembered him as a different guy who was mean to him at a Met Gala party in 1985 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean anything for the game. So so he's true neutral. I'll let you jump in here, but next I'm gonna explain these different zones.
Well, I kind of want to stay on this point for a second, and then I think we're leading ourselves to one big mystery that is in the direct middle. But before we get to that, I do want to see how Forged in Fire has also made its way in between the two quadrants.
So Forged in Fire is if we're doing out of 10, I probably should have put it out of 10, although I expected I never expected to be explaining this in an audio medium. So it is a 0 on the x-axis, and it is a, I don't know, 5.5 on the y-axis. So it's middle top, and it's directly in the middle. So Fortune and Fire. Now you'll notice a similarity for most of these shows, and it is definitely a bias on my end of shows I like.
Yeah.
Which is that these are shows that have a running cast through the whole season. So, with the exception of like Fortune and Fire, a couple of these are different, but most of them, the shows that I watch that I really, and I've seen all these shows, the shows that I like have a cast and they get eliminated per week. Whereas
there is only one example that I can see that does not follow that.
Well, there's Chopped next. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I did. Okay, you're right. I did not see Chopped. So Chopped and Next. The one I was thinking about was Next.
Yes, Chopped, Next, Naked and Afraid, The Masked Singer.
There's a couple of these.
I'm sorry.
The Masked Singer has. Yeah.
And I've only seen like 1 or 2 episodes. I don't like that show very much.
That might be it.
And Fortune Fire. Yeah. Most of these shows are shows Fortune that I watch. So anyway, the reason Fortune Fire is true neutral is because they are very adherent to the rules. Well, one, it's true neutral because it has a rotating cast, right? Every single week, there's 4 new contestants.
Oh.
And so it's hard to really be either like good or bad. You're not going to make that much of an impact. And again, this is all separate from like the prize money, because obviously if you win $10,000, that's good for you. Although in the case of like Big Brother, you might win $1 million and be Mickey and it ruins your fucking life. But whatever. So it became neutral because it was just like, well, it's neither really. They're so adherent to the rules that there's not a real value judgment. It's show up, make a knife, do it in parameters. You got it, good. Like, it's very by the book, and so that's why I put it in true neutral. I will get to our very center one at the end, because it takes a little explanation. But yes, that is why Fortune Fire is in the middle.
Yeah, I think, well, one that I think kind of exists in the one that's not on this list, and I think one that I really wanted to, like, my favorite sort of example of pure evil, and like pure evil as it stands of like there is, it is like that id sort of mentality, but is just pure evil, is the show Awake.
Awake is pure, yes, of course. Awake is, I think
it would be directly on the axis of just evil and all the way over.
But because you don't think that, but there's a lot of rules to that game, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I guess you're right.
So
like,
it would be higher. It would be higher up.
Yeah, because like it does everything that happens in. Yeah, I guess you're right. Everything that happens in Awake. And for those who haven't seen Awake, it's a show where you have to stay awake for 24 hours and then do some bullshit.
But there are rules, and you have to pass.
There are rules.
The challenges. It's evil. It's definitely evil.
It is evil, and the first episode is my favorite in that it follows this arc of this dude who clearly has an undiagnosed gambling addiction.
Because so
like
bad.
They have this thing where they have to count quarters for 24 hours and then remember how many quarters they counted. And then this dude has this thing where like he'll get X amount of money if he's within like 100 or like within like 10,000 quarters, and he gets it, and then they're just like, all right, man, double or nothing. You think you're within $1,000 for your quarters, and it's like 100 or something, like really an absurdly small number, and he is just like, hell yeah, and then he's wrong, and then he loses everything. So no one was there for any reason. Nothing. They all left with nothing.
The thing about that episode too is sometimes those shows and those are more pure game shows. So the shows on this list or on this chart are competitive reality shows, which is why most of them are. And no, Awake could fit on here, but what I'm saying is like competitive reality shows in that there's there are characters and people mostly that that's why most of them are like people over time.
Yeah.
But I forgot what my point was. But yeah, no, Awake. Oh. Sorry.
If it was on the list.
Yeah, if it was on the list. But no. So it is a pure game show. But sometimes with those game shows, especially that one, I got the feeling that they don't have the money. They don't have $1 million. And they're just like, fuck.
And they're just like, putting them in wackier and wackier situations.
Right.
And then just like really, really relying on them to just like gamble it all the way.
That's what I mean. It's like that Nathan For You sketch where he does like the rebate and he's like trying to do everything they won't get the rebate.
Yeah.
That's how that show feels. And a lot of those game shows where it's like win $1 million and it gets so convoluted. I'm like, they don't have them. Like if someone wins, the show is over. They like go bankrupt and they lost.
I don't know if you've seen any video. I haven't seen this show, but it's like the game show that is the Pepsi show, and it's just like it's like this game show where there are no challenges. You are just like spinning what is essentially a giant slot machine. And it's like the biggest slot machine in the world. But it's at that point, it's like, who cares? And it's all on these like every single number is on these like gigantic like LED screens. And then they're like pulling on the lever to like see if they win. And it's like, this isn't random. Like a producer is making sure that you don't get the money. And they keep doing that thing where like they'll go like, are you willing to risk it all? And they're always like, I'm feeling lucky. And it's like, this isn't luck. It's like,
because it's not an actual wheel spinning. It's an LED.
It's not an actual wheel spinning. It is LEDs doing like animations of the spinning.
I would say that's
like, brother, they can choose whatever it lands on. Like there is no luck. Like you're here on borrowed time.
So here's my thing about that. I think that is so close to gambling and literally gambling that gambling laws would probably cover it. In which case they like statistically you have to be able to like because slot machines are that way where like they get examined to make sure that their software will allow you to win because otherwise like you know what I mean. It's like. It's not
but
just
probably under the guise of it being a game show, and the people aren't putting money in.
Oh,
like they're getting there. They're getting there for free. You know, it's like you will either leave exactly what you came with, which is nothing, or you'll win like $20,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's like they'll never give you the $1 million. Like that's never going to happen.
And again, my theory is they don't have it. Like they don't have $1 million. Like they literally can't give you the $1 million because it doesn't exist.
That one to me is the most egregious example of all of these because they'll do this thing where they're getting really excited and it's like no, like it's like, and they'll be like, like it doesn't work. I'm like, unlucky, and it's like, nope, not unlucky. Like completely predetermined.
Totally a scam. Okay, so I'm gonna pop back
it is a bigger version of that 3-card Monty that people like play on the street where like no matter what you do, like you're being tricked. Like something has happened while they're spinning those cards around that ensures that you will not win.
You like literally can't. Like hey guy, you can't win.
Yeah. And if you do win, you're getting lured into a false sense of security so you can lose bigger later.
Right, exactly. Okay, so let's pop back onto the chart. So there's a couple of highlighted areas, and obviously this is going to be the cover art, so I guess
love the highlighted areas. I love them.
You can see. But if you're just listening and maybe you're driving and you don't want to look, I'm going to go in the order of my presentation, which would be the first one would be it's the top. It's probably 8, 9, and 10 on the y-axis. So the very top, what would that be? 3 out of 20? Whatever. The top 20% of the thing, or 15%, is
okay.
It's called "This Show Might Kill You." Now, whether it's good or evil, there is a certain level where you are respecting the rules so much, and it is so reliant on the rules that basically the game show is just stay alive. So here you have Survivor, Alone, and Naked and Afraid. Now you'll see Naked and Afraid is on the evil side of the scale because if you've ever seen it, it is just a show about humiliation. Evil. Whereas Survivor and Alone are on the good side of the scale, although Alone is a bit more neutral. So,
yes.
So you see how Pottery Throwdown is close to there, but it is not. No one's in danger. It's just like, no, the rules are the rules. The next section I'd like to talk about is called Looking for Love. It is in the bottom right quadrant. So it's this is where all so it is both Here for the Wrong Reasons, as in completely arbitrary, and evil. This is where all dating shows go. So we have Love Island next.
Except for one.
Mr. Personality. I know, we'll get to that. Love Island next, Mr. Personality, and of course Bachelor. This is because, of course, you cannot fall in love on a game show. That's fucking insane. What are you talking about? And so the entire show is premised, while they are very fun to watch, on exploiting people's loneliness and making them look insane. Very fun to watch.
You really got to include F-Boy Island right there next to. I think it's even surpassing Bachelor. Actually, I think it's kind of in here. I think it's like kind of past the whole scale in sort of a phantom zone.
It's breaking the limits of what is evil. It's an incredibly evil show. Although it is a little bit more rules based. Like, I'm gonna say it's on the hard edge of evil, but it's up there with Next, where it's like it's a little more rules based of a show. It's still pretty arbitrary.
Okay, so I'm starting to understand it a bit more. So like a show like Too Hot to Handle would actually be kind of up here. It'd be closer to Next because that entire show is rules.
Yes, the show is all about rules, except there is this like baseline arbitrariness because people get eliminated based on their like falling in love and stuff. So it's not like you can't like break a rule. I mean, you can, but it's not like you lose a challenge and go home, which would be more respecting the game. So it's more just I don't know, I wasn't really feeling them. They're not my person or whatever. They have to leave now. That would be more arbitrary as opposed to like a rule or like emotions based as opposed to like a hard rules based elimination.
Got it.
That's why all the dating shows are all over there. And of course, they are all inherently evil. The third section I want to talk about is called the food court. Now, this is on the good side and in the respecting the game section. Lower than, of course, this show might kill you, but this is where all of your cooking shows are going to go. So Great British Bake Off, Zumbo, Chopped. All of these shows are going to go there because they are inherently rules-based because you like have to be able to cook the food. Like you have to do it good. It doesn't matter if you're like cool or nice. Like you have to cook good. So they're obviously rules-based, but they're all like light and fun and nice. Now,
go ahead. Some of it is a bit because like with Chopped being down here, like some of it is a bit based on how the judges think you're doing.
Yes, exactly. So it's not purely
because you're always going to be performing for a judge. Like there's no one breaking out measuring tapes and whatever. It's always going to be like based on the taste of the judges.
And it's a subjective nature of eating, right?
Yeah.
So, or of like, oh, I think this tastes good. I think this tastes bad. Although those people are experts, so they have some objectivity, which is why you see like Great British Bake Off is pretty high up on the respecting the game part of the spectrum because like they do know what is supposed to taste like. Also, if I'm being completely honest, some of these people's rankings are based on how I had to fit the text in there. So Zumbo might be a little bit arbitrary just because it's like, well, I couldn't put it over the word food court. Now, this is an unfortunate development that occurred to me after I made this chart and has nothing to do with the title. I need to preface that. So but I need you to know, I wrote food court before I made the discovery that all weight loss shows also do fit in this section of the graph.
Oh, interesting.
Like if we weren't putting sections, if it was purely just the XY axis, all of the weight loss shows, they're all obviously for your good. Like they're obviously, and they are numbers based. But there is like numbers based isn't like, whoever loses the most weight or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
But there
And like,
are
it's sort of just like Jeff Probst, which is like they like while it might not be like it might not seem like a fully wholesome experience, it's like for the purpose of like pushing you harder than you've like gone.
they're trying to make your life better when you leave the show. And yeah, there is like some technical level of it where like, well, we're gonna put you guys on for like Biggest Loser, like we're gonna put the whole team on a scale, and we're gonna see who lost the most weight. So like there is like a rules based part of it because like it's just like that. So that's food court. Which again, unfortunate that it's also where the weight loss shows are, but you know, it's how it goes. So the last section I want to talk about is this big section down at the bottom, called the drama void. Now this is
I am most curious about the drama void.
Yes, the drama void is I would say 90% of quadrant 3. So it is on the good side, but also on the here for the wrong reasons side. Now, it's not the entire section. There's kind of a little part at the top where like the masked singer is, because it's like, yeah, this show's like, I mean, it's all celebrities, so like, is it good for them? Like, I don't know. Their lives are fun. You know what I mean? It's not like trying to make their lives better. It's just kind of like, I don't know. But it's like wholesome in a way, but also it's like a singing competition and like a dance performance competition. So it's like, I don't know. It's a little bit arbitrary, but you know, so it kind of hangs out there. But mostly the drama void is a section where at some point, if it is like here for the wrong reasons enough, if it is an arbitrary set of eliminations based on like feelings, there is a certain level of inherent evilness that comes with that kind of show. Like it has to be somewhat about like breaking people's hearts and humiliating them. That's just like fundamental in the here for the wrong reasons types of shows, right? Which is why all of the dating shows are on the evil side, because it's like, if you're making an entertaining show, but the show is about people falling in love, like it has to be. So shows cannot exist in this area. Shows cannot exist within the drama void, because it's like, it can't be both arbitrary eliminations and actually improving these people's lives, because just kicking them off because whatever, it just can't be that kind of show.
Huh.
With one exception.
Well, actually, I may throw you a curveball to see kind of how you feel about this one, but please continue with the one exception.
So my one exception is Ashton Kutcher's Beauty and the Geek. A show that is a dating competition show. I think it's a dating show. I believe it's kind of.
It is a dating show. Yes.
Where they get hot ladies and nerdy boys, and they come together and they date each other or whatever, and they do competitions.
Yeah. I don't know if they're paired at the beginning or it has some sort of like a Bachelor in Paradise sort of vibe where you kind of like it's like freeform jazz at the beginning, but. Yeah.
But the show's whole premise is, and seems to be true from the little bit that I've seen of it, genuine and wholesome, in that it's like, no, you guys are all lovable and good and worthy of love. Like, you women are worthy of respect, even though you're beautiful and people don't treat you like you're worthy of respect, and you men are worthy of love despite the fact that you are nerdy. I might be misremembering this show. I saw it when it first came out. But, and I'm talking specifically about season 1 because it's the only one I've seen. But Beauty and the Geek does manage to thread the needle and be in the drama zone, or the drama void, where it is here for the wrong reasons, but also at its heart, a good show.
Okay, I'm thinking, so this is a huge curveball, and I think that it is, because it is both despicable and evil, but also like can be through a certain lens be seen as good.
Okay.
And that is the show. The Pickup Artist, starring Mystery.
Evil.
Now hold on.
Absolutely.
Hold on to this. I'm gonna make a case. I'm gonna make a case.
Show.
Hello everyone. Put me on the record. I'm gonna make a case for the pickup artist. Okay.
Why is this what you want to do?
As I remember the pickup artist from when I was 14 and being like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to do all this.
Taking notes. Yeah, I saw it when it came out.
Taking notes. I'm gonna go to the clubs. Me.
I'm going to make a waitress fall in love with me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the way that that show worked was it got a bunch of dudes who did not think that they were like worthy of attention. They were a bunch of, quote, nice guys, end quote, before that became a bit of before people kind of, got what they were doing. So it's a bunch of nice guys, and the show was like 50, maybe not even 50. It was like
12. 12 guys.
Like it was like 12 guys. No, I'm saying like it's like 60% them doing self-betterment projects where like they would learn how to dress well, or they would learn how to like do their hair, or like get more confident. And the other half was go harass women, like just in the clubs. So
be horrible.
Although it is terrible,
I can give you some greatest hits of their tips. Horrible.
It's like it kind of falls in that zone of like it was mostly getting these dudes to feel confident. Now, what they were getting confidence to do was bad, but they were in fact in the house getting the confidence to talk to women in these club-like situations, and there were eliminations based on how they would perform,
of course,
how much they think, how much mystery, and I think like Taurus or whatever, like the bull is what they called him, if I'm remembering correctly, how much they had thought that they had grown as like a person. So
no, it's definitely here for the wrong reasons, for sure. But
but I think,
is it evil?
I don't know. I feel like it might technically live in the good space if you're willing to distort your view of what good is.
Yeah, which
because
I'm not.
much like Survivor, Mystery and his gang, they would throw these dudes into really uncomfortable situations that they did not want to be in to inspire them to do things that they never thought they could do. So
sure,
I'm thinking that show lives in the drama void. You just have to kind of like, I think you have to watch it from the point of view of like how it is being presented. That's not true at all, because then The Bachelor would be in a different spot.
Here's my counter argument.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it lives in the drama.
I don't think it does. Here's my counter argument. That would be, yes, you're saying, okay, it makes them more confident. They are not confident, so they're giving them the tools to be confident by making them pickup artists.
It's very similar to Beauty and the Geek.
That would be like saying, oh, you're having trouble sleeping, or you're always tired. And instead of saying get more sleep, you say, have you tried methamphetamine? Yes, that person is going to be less tired. You have achieved the goal of being less tired. But what you're doing is bad for them. No, it is not good. Okay. It is evil because there, as I've said to you many times, there are no means, there are only ends. No, what you are doing is bad. And you are teaching them a bad thing that is bad for them, and it's bad for everyone. So, for example, one of their suggestions was you want to talk to a girl when she's alone so that she is more likely to just like have a one-on-one conversation. So wait till she goes to the bathroom, watch her, and wait for her to go to the bathroom, and then get her when she comes back, which is bad advice that no one should follow because it's crazy.
Come get her.
Come get her when she's coming back from the toilet. Another, as I alluded to earlier, one of the challenges is to pick up a working girl, i.e. a stripper or a waitress, not a prostitute, although I know that's what that term is, because which again, I think you guys know my politics. I find this horrid, but what they're saying is like, well, because she is paid to be nice to you, making her actually like you is even harder. So this is the final boss. Which, hey guys, just a quick aside, if you're trying to hit on a girl, if she's not allowed to leave the area that you are, don't hit on her. I don't care how pretty she is. I don't care what's going on. Do not hit on a girl who like can't leave the coffee shop. If she works at the coffee shop, don't hit on her because like she can't leave because that's her job. So don't do it. Anyway, it's a bad show made by bad people. It is fully evil. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it because it's probably funny, but like, no way is that a good show. Is that on the scale good for the contestants? But everyone has their own opinion. That's fine.
I have two more.
Great. Now let's do this
one of them is I've been thinking. Okay, so what about? I noticed that this entire genre has not made it, but what about America's Next Top Model?
Okay, I gotta pull the chart back up. Okay, America's Next Top Model. My instinct. Ooh, that's a good point. America's Next Top Model is good, for sure, but it is an inherently subjective elimination. Because the rules are just take the pictures and then we decide whose pictures are. Fuck, Zach, you might have dissolved the drama void because if there's two things in the drama void, it's not really a drama void.
Because I was thinking, because there is within the drama void, I think we have like that genre of show, which also includes RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes, you're right. I completely forgot about that style of show. Those would so maybe the drama void. I need to rejigger this thing because the whole point of it being a void was that like shows cannot exist here with this one exception. But if we have three shows in there, which I fully agree with you, yes, RuPaul's Drag Race and America's Next Top Model completely exist in this quadrant of good for the contestants. Like they are obviously trying to improve these people's self-esteem in life, but an inherently subjective elimination process. Yeah, you're right. Totally. You're 100% right.
Okay, and I think so I thought of those, and then I thought of this one that I recently saw on Jarvis Johnson, a YouTuber who is doing a video series on this show, which was America's Most Smartest Model.
That's not real.
Which was, yes, it is.
Fuck you. No,
America's Most Smartest Model. Yes, it is. America's Most Smartest Model, and it was hosted by Ben Stein. Remember Ben Stein?
Him, yeah.
famous speechwriter turned actor Ben Stein.
From the Visine commercials. America's Most Smartest Model.
They did this. They did this show where it was like they did this show, and it was like name every single capital of like name as many capitals as you can think of as you were walking down a runway. Or like they would put them all in this one house and they would have codes to all of the like refrigerators and bathrooms, and they'd be like math problems or like history problems, and then they had to like figure them out before they could go to the bathroom.
My gosh.
And
this seems evil. This seems like a show based on humiliation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. All right, we're on the same page. This sounds funny, but
it was just like they would do something like they would take some pictures and then they would do a spelling bee. And if you lost the spelling bee, you couldn't get good prizes for your like picture. Okay. Or like there was one where it was a trivia, and it was if you do really well on this trivia, then you can get more things to help you in this runway shoot. Like if you get nothing right, then you have to like walk down in like your underwear because you didn't get anything. Yeah, and it was just punishing these people for just
living
like
their lives.
Not knowing. Yeah, like living their lives, trying to just get their careers going, and then like basically coming up to them and being like, "You're gonna look like an idiot if you can't tell me like what year Benjamin Franklin was
the capital
born."
of Vermont.
And then it's just like, I don't know that, and it's just like, well, then you can't use the bathroom, you fucking idiot.
That sucks. Yeah, that's definitely evil. It sounds funny, but it sounds evil.
Yeah.
I've pulled up. I know
It's
that
great.
you're not on the stream. I mean, you're on the stream, but I know you're not watching the stream. I have pulled up the cover art for the show, and I will point out that while I assume this is in the ought nots, and maybe it will be an ought not section, and we will definitely fucking watch this show because it sounds wild.
Exactly. We never did finish Ultimate Gamer.
I finished Ultimate Gamer. Oh
well, damn.
This is only like 7 episodes. Anyway, you will notice that in America's Most Smartest Model, the O in model is an atomic structure, which is fine. That's like a normal thing, but it does make it look like it's the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, it does.
That's my whole point. That was it. That was the whole thing I was saying. So anyway, that's the chart. That's what I did my presentation on. I do have to. I'm not going to redo it because it's probably never going to come up again. But I might redo it to get rid of the drama void. I need to add more shows because the thing is, as you add more data points, you start to see patterns. And so maybe I'll add more data points.
That's true.
To figure out if there's some more, whatever over in that section. But anyway, that's Reality Check Symposium.
And now and only now can I understand that meme that was in the Squid Game. So please do explain to me the rest of that.
Right. Recommendations. God, this is a Sam heavy episode, huh? Also, I will have a more prepared section next week. But guys, get ready. The season just started. I watch hockey, and so should you. Hockey is back. We are now going to be covering the
Lord,
Preds
we're back.
And the Colorado Avalanche, because I will be moving to Denver. So we will be covering the Av and the Preds. I'm so fucking psyched. I got the NHL package. I will be watching all the games. I'm trying to figure out my VPN. It's really fucking irritating. But anyway, I'll be watching all the games. I'm stoked.
Yeah, and all the people you're calling are for some reason not really helping.
No, I called Ben and you, and neither of you knew how it worked. So that's okay. I'll figure it out. So anyway,
my only experience was someone who shall not be named that I know has a 3D printer, and they were trying to 3D print a gun. Oops. So they had to put their VPN into a different area of America, Texas, where that is legal, where downloading the schematics for that are not legal where we are.
Weird story.
That is the only experience I've had with moving from one state to another for like the purposes of like getting something.
Well, just as a short aside, I could change my like VPN and I could then look up my IP address online and it would be a different place. But like ESPN Plus wouldn't recognize that. So I couldn't figure out how to get ESPN Plus.
They done cracked the code. They got you.
It sounds like they don't crack the code, so maybe if I change countries, I didn't try that. But anyway, I'm not going to give you an update because it's the preseason. The first 4 games of the preseason just ended. So, I mean, whatever. There's going to be a bunch of trades. I'll maybe give you that. But you will be getting more hockey news whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Recommendation station, Sam,
not
heavy
a lot happening
episode.
with basketball currently. Just a lot of drama as it relates to the medical field, but that's for a different show.
Wait, what? Oh, vaccines and stuff?
Yeah.
Because of Nicki Minaj's cousin's big balls.
There's quite a number of high profile players who are very vocally anti-vax, and it's kind of like, oh no.
That's funny. Well, okay, yeah, sure. Recommendation station. I'm so tired of talking. I've talked so much.
I want to hear about Squid Game, so you just have to get over it.
I'm just gonna get over it. Okay, so recommendation station. Squid Games is really good. My whole pitch is that it is a highly exaggerated satire ? About capitalism. But it's also good. So I understand that a highly exaggerated satire about capitalism could be really bad. I'm telling you, this show is good.
I'm sold.
And you don't have to be a tanky to like it. I'm not a tanky, of course. But
I was waiting for one person that I knew who I was pretty zoned in on the things that we liked together to say it was good. Because oftentimes when everyone on Twitter is like, this is the thing, I'm like, I don't trust you guys. I don't. And that's that. I mean, I'd like, they could all be like, man, 6 Underground is the shit, and I'm just like, all right,
for different reasons. Yeah, I also like it.
That is the end of you guys. I'm sorry, y'all, but it is over for me and 6 Underground.
What I will say is that the capitalist critique is very clear, like it's very obvious. It's not a thing you can miss, but also it is full of compelling characters and like interesting stories. So it's not. I'm not saying, like, don't recognize the capitalist critique, because, like, it's good and poignant, but also it's more than just, like, it's not Animal Farm the movie. I know Animal Farm is a communist critique, but whatever. It's not, like, Animal Farm the movie. Like, although they did make an Animal Farm movie at one point. Anyway. I think.
They did? So, yeah, I can only imagine that looks kind of like early Charlotte Webb.
You tell me what you're thinking, and then I will look up Animal Farm the movie. But yes,
I'm thinking of Animal Farm in like I'm thinking it looks kind of like an animated Charlotte Webb. Like it is kind of cartoony, but it is it tricks you because it's oh, this is a fun looking.
You're 1,000% right.
Swish, man! I took my shot and made it in.
I'm looking at the 1954 Animal Farm movie, and it is in the exact same art style as the Charlotte Webb movie.
Yeah, I mean, how else could you do it? You know, that's the only way. Yeah,
it looks exactly like Charlotte's Web. But anyway,
and then they take the horse off to the glue factory, and it's like, this is not as fun as it is looking.
The windmill collapses, and all the pigs wear suits, and you're like, ugh.
It's like, I don't know about all this. I thought this was going to be cuter. Yeah, so, but in
Squid Game,
do
you want more?
It is kind of like, I mean, there's one thing I do want to know, and that is I'm only seeing promotional material and those 2 memes, I suppose.
Sure.
I'm gathering that it's kind of like Battle Royale, where it's just a bunch of people fighting each other, and then there's just little challenges and games, but it mostly involves people killing each other.
I can give you the premise of like the series. Again, I do think you'd have a better time going in cold, but I don't think this will like spoil anything. I really don't. Also, the Stars are up 3 and the Avalanche have 1. The game is over. We lost. Fuck. Anyway. So the premise of Squid Games is there is a competition where they invite people who are in massive amounts of debt to compete, and they have to play 6 games. And if they win, they get, I think, the equivalent of like $38 million. But as the contestants find out, if you get eliminated from the game, you die. So it turns into...
And then you're not in debt anymore.
Well,
win-win.
Zach, you're hitting on some of the capitalist critique, where your choices are fight for your life or die. It again is very good, but yeah, I mean, that is a lot of it is like, well, what's your other option? Like, I mean, that is a lot of the show. It's just like, yeah, this is horrible. People are getting killed all around you. But what are you gonna do? Like, are you gonna you're gonna pull yourself up by your bootstraps and like become the manager of the Wendy's? No, you're fucking not. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's what I took from a lot of it. But anyway, so yeah, so it is broadly a capitalist critique. of the sort of oppression of the commodity market or whatever. But separately, if you're not into that, if that's not your vibe, well, it should be also because it's correct. But secondly, there are lots of really great characters, really emotional moments. It's a really well-written show that's like very character-driven, but the like broad strokes are this is a critique of capitalism. So yeah, it's really good. It's a smart show. I mean, again, I think their critique is make some good points without being too heavy-handed, as well as like a lot of great acting, and it's really good.
Okay.
Oh,
I
if
mean,
you don't
I'm
like,
sold.
sorry,
I think
one
that
thing. If you don't like gore, you're not gonna like it. It's pretty gory.
I think I don't know if I like gore or not. I know that I really, really like Midsummer, and that's pretty gory.
Yeah, you'll be fine. I would say nothing is worse than what's in Midsummer.
I usually say that I don't like gore, but I love Midsummer, so maybe I do. Maybe I'm a sycophant. Maybe that's the end of our show.
Oh shit! Yeah, how long are we recording?
Oh my god!
Oh, way long.
We've been recording for 1.
Cool.
But thank you all so much for listening to Sam Recommends Squid Game. That was pretty much all that happened this episode.
I'm really sorry about that. I talked for
really exciting. Long. No, I loved it. I was here for it. I'd only ever heard rumors about this chart that you had. So I'm glad that it was finally brought out. And I was able to stump you. So that, I got, so we all win. You talked for a whole hour and then I
hated
got
it.
You.
Hate doing that.
Thank you all so much for listening to Get Better. If you want to find more of our stuff, you can find us on Instagram at Get Better Podcast. That's at Get_Better_Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube at Get Better Podcast. And guess what? You can also find us on Twitch. We are still doing that. Hop on over. Sam and I are going to try to be recording on the times where we do our episodes, as well as one more day a week to do some more Twitch exclusive content, whether that's Sam drawing or us kind of just zipping and whipping or whatever it is we do, maybe coming up with some ideas for the show that we're going to record on the following Thursday. So yeah, lots of fun Twitch stuff happening there.
And eventually,
but mostly come just to see Sam drawing. Yes.
When I get it figured out, I will be getting the speedrun record for Rogue Warrior.
Right. Duh.
Waiting
oh my
to
gosh.
Get a second,
the whole reason the Twitch channel exists is for this.
Really, the drawing is killing time until I get a second monitor, and then we can get the speedrun record for Rogue Warrior.
And then we can really start twitching. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be really exciting just to watch Sam. He's definitely gonna get on the board. At the very least, you will watch Sam get on the board.
I'm gonna be number one.
No, you're gonna be number one, but I mean, like, I'm telling the audience
soon. I'm gonna be on the board.
As you are listening, like if you're hearing this, and then we start doing the Rogue Warrior, you're gonna see him. You're gonna see him go up the board. So get your tickets now for that show.
Yes, correct.
And you can also reach us at meetthefockers2 fockedup@gmail.com. That is meetthefockers2 fockedup@gmail.com. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, please leave us a rate and review. It is really helpful. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, just please continue to do so. And that's all I have. So see you guys next week.
All right.
See you. Bye forever.